Hi everybody, welcome back to Mary's Craft Room Sundays at 7. I'm happy to be back this week. Last week was just not very good for me. I unfortunately was very much under the weather. Just the last few years I've started getting allergies, and for the first time ever my allergies progressed into a sinus infection that then turned into my first ever at the age 62 of an ear infection. So by Thursday, I was feeling pretty bad, but great Dr. Anderson got me all hooked up with some antibiotics, and I'm doing much better now. So I'm back with you tonight to do Christmas in July and show you this wonderful suite that I am totally in love with, and it's called Lights Aglow. And I've chosen it. I'm in a swap, and I have chosen it as my swap to do, and I've got 2 of my 4 cards made. This one, you'll see tonight, it is a very easy one to put together, and then I did a little bit over the top one that I just posted about a half an hour ago that I will show you. But you can find this suite on page 30 of our mini catalog. And you guys, it's a big suite. I'm not going to lie. It's a big suite. The cost is $147.75, and then shipping and handling. But look at everything you get in there. You get not one, but 2 dies, or 2 stamps with full complete set of dies, beautiful gold ribbon, beautiful festive pearls, which happen to be my July special, 12 by 12 glimmer paper, 12 by 12 DSP that's got a little sparkle to it, and 6 by 6 designer series paper. You get all of this for that price. So of course you can break it apart if you want to, but I got the whole thing because that's just what I wanted to do with this one. And then I've got some of the stuff right here. So I'm going to put the card aside for a second. So again, here are the 2 stamp sets. And as you know by now that I keep my dies right inside here. This happens to be the next one I think that I might use on the card tonight when I do the other 2. And here are the other ones. The snowflake I've got that out for another card, or the other one that I just did. And this is part of the tree, a great label one, all kinds of cute little things in there. And some great sayings, just beautiful sayings and beautiful fonts on there for Christmas. So you get all of that, and I can show you 2 of the other dies that were in there. These are the 2 we're going to use tonight, the Christmas tree and then one for the sentiment. So perfect. You get this package of designer series paper, the 6 by 6, just amazing papers in it. I just love them. One is just as pretty as the other one. So you have cherry cobbler in different patterns. And if we turn that over, then of course there's always 2 sides to everything. And then I love how they always put a little glimmer in there, a little metal in there. So pretty. And then this is what I used on the second card tonight. And this cuts perfectly 3 by 3, and then you can put a sentiment right in the middle of that. And you know me, layer it with some other color behind, and it's perfect. Then we've got some pretty green ones. Oh my gosh. This is what we're using tonight. I loved this sheet. If I could have 12 by 12 of this, I would be so happy. Just such pretty designs, you guys. I can't even express how much that I love this paper. Then we've got some that are lighter, that have a little white behind them, or very vanilla, actually. And those are kind of pretty too. Those are fun. I think I'm going to be using this one on my next card. And then we've got some more green and some black in there. And look at the black. Isn't that kind of cool? I used that on another card that I did for my, I believe it was, oh no I didn't. I apologize. I was going to say for my Christmas in July event last weekend. I used a church, but I used a different black paper. So you have all of that, 6 by 6. Then you have a package of what they call the festive foils. So there's 3 different colors. There's a gold, a red that you see here, and then I believe it's a green is in there. So when I'm doing my swaps, I try to use everything in the suite. There we go. Soft sea foam is the other one. Kind of hard to see on my lighting here, but that is super pretty too. That would have looked nice on the card I was doing tonight. And then you have, so you get 6 pieces of paper for that one. And then we have glimmer. So we've got like a very vanilla kind of glimmer, gold, and then the evening evergreen. Super pretty. I used those for the snowflakes. So I'm going to show you this second card before we get on to this one. Okay, I want to show you what I created today for my little bit over the top. This is my over the top Christmas card for my swap. It's not difficult to make. I say that often, that I make over the top looking cards. Hi Bonnie, how are you? Hi Jenna. So Jenna, I think you had a video on at 6:30. I have to go back and watch it. Sorry, I was doing my little over the top card for you. Oh, you have this, sweet Diane? You're gonna love it. Okay guys, so here it is, my little over the top, and this was based off of a swap we got, Jenna, in Utah from Sandy Hernandez. She used the He's All That set, and I just loved the fold. You know me and my folds. So here it is, and then it opens up like that. Isn't that kind of cool? And it's not that difficult. So I am going to type up the instructions for that. And this is where I used, we've got the foil paper behind there. I used that one little piece that you just cut out. And you see something similar to this in the catalog. This is just a 2-inch punch, easy. The dots, then there's a glimmer paper. And I just wanted to break it up a little bit, so I do have a circle foil behind there. And then I thought I would throw in just a little bit of the green to pop it. And then one of the festive gems. And then, of course, when I got down here, I couldn't leave that one alone, so that had to be a festive gem too. All right, so then this one needs its ribbon to hold it closed yet. And then, of course, just something simple on the envelope. We just have a little snowflake there. But to me, I just look at that and go, oh, that's such an elegant card. And you laugh. Those that know me, I'm going to say it's a Mary card. Right, Jenna? It's a Mary card. Okay, so those are my 2 cards that I have for tonight that I wanted to show you. And now let's get on and actually make this one. I'll take this one out of the plastic so you can see it. Okay, so those of you that are new tonight, a couple of you, Mary makes very much layering cards, don't I, Jenna? I have lots of layers. I just can't have everything plain. It just has to have lots of layers. But this one was super, super easy. I did this for a card swap or for a card buffet last week, and they loved it. There was nothing difficult about it at all. It may not be a simple stamper, but an inexperienced stamper can definitely do this because it's so much just, I've got the paper cut. They just have to stamp a tree, cut it out, stamp a saying, cut it out, and we assemble. And that's it, guys. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to start. I've got everything here. So I'll pull everything out here. And I thought I had everything I wanted. I just wanted to get a ruler for just a second. I forgot some of my dimensions on the strips that I wanted to show you. So this is your basic. This is Evening Evergreen. Your basic 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Okay. So we will use our bone folder and just give that a nice crease. All right. Then I am just going to layer it because I wanted this to pop. So I'm just going to layer it with a simple basic white piece that is the 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll put that down. So I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know Miss Jenna got her nice Jimmy Buffett concert canceled because of that darn weather last night. I had a rummage sale, which did okay Friday, but oh man, you guys, it was a hot one out there. Saturday, no customers. We shut down at noon. It was so hot. And, well, I did okay, but man, was it evil out there. All right, so now I've got that done. And then I'm going to take my next one, same size, okay? And this is going to be the inside of the card. And we're going to just give it a little bit of stamping. Just one nice sentiment and one gold snowflake. And that's it. And I know the gold is not in our set right now, but it just needed the gold desperately. So we have got this here, and I've got this here, and of course I need to find my darn little snowflake. Don't you hate when that darn technology, there we go, it's all behind me, not technology. It's just me not remembering where I put anything. Oh well, you know how that goes. All right, if I ever have a perfect video, that will just be amazing. And then it won't even be any fun, because who wants that? Let's just show reality of crafting, right guys? So I'm going to take Evening Evergreen, and I liked this Hoping Your Christmas Shines Bright with the love of family and friends. So I put that in there. And then I just wanted something gold to pop. I'm going to pull this down a little bit for you, okay? Something, there we go, in the corner. So I took the snowflake and a little bit of our gold ink and just put a little snowflake down there. And now we can tape that right on. Snowflake got off a little bit, but that's okay. That's part of crafting, isn't it? Again, not perfect. That is why Stampin' Up! Is good for me. Because I used to be such a very particular, very type A, which I still am. I'm not going to say I'm not. But imperfections, I embrace imperfections now. And that's the best way to do it, I think. So I've got my envelope out, as long as I've got the star, or the snowflake. Let's do a gold. Snowflake should be silver maybe, but in our case, we're doing gold tonight. And we never have naked envelopes, do we? Rare occasion. Okay, so now we've got that done. All right, I've got the evergreen out. So I've got a scrap piece of soft succulent here, and I've got the tree. And I am just going to take it, and when it's a big one like that, I'm guessing all of you do the same thing. I turn it upside down and ink it that way. It's much easier. You can see what you're doing. And then I'm always, if you can hear my chair squeaking, I have to stand to stamp. I don't do well sitting. Okay? And now I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to take the tree, and I am going to cut it out. But instead of wasting time, I am going to stamp the sentiment on my white scrap right away so I can run them both together. Okay? So I have just a white scrap here that fits for the sentiment. And I'm going to use just the Season's Greeting. And I'm going to place it right in the middle here. And look, that did not turn out well at all. So that's why we have two sides, right guys? And I don't know about you, but I always tend to stamp first and then die cut. So I'm just going to turn around. My cut and emboss machine is behind me, and I am going to turn around and cut them out. And I will try and talk to you while I'm doing this. And I hope you guys all had okay weather. I know, Jenna, you ran into the bad stuff like I did here. It was a little crazy. I know it's been hot over by you, Bonnie, hasn't it? I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm trying to get everything lined up good. And let's see how we do. The only reason I don't like to do my cut and emboss on the table by you is I don't like to shake the table all up. All right. So I love this die that they have for the sentiment. I love what they do with all the stitching and the little dots and stuff. They always do something different, which is so nice. It gives it a little extra something. And it doesn't, you don't have to work at it. It's right there for you. The season's greeting is a little crooked, but I'll use it anyway. It's perfectly fine. Okie doke. So then we have, we're going to now very simply just add that stuff on, you guys, and that's our card. So what I did was I have 3 pieces of the brushed metal, okay, and any of them that are in there will work. And I believe these are, let's get the measurements for you. These are actually 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. And then this is going to be 3 1/2 by 1 1/4, just to layer down 1/4. So I'm going to take this and I'll layer all my pieces. So there's so many pretty designs in there. You can mix and match the pattern however you like it. Again, this darn green one with the snowflakes tended to be my favorite one. And with the class I did, I ran out of it, so we had to use some other ones at the end, but everybody that was there got this. I was very blessed, very lucky. I had 19 people sign up for the class, and things happened, and it ended up with only, I believe, 11 or 12. But you know what? I was really happy to have them there. You know, whatever happens, happens in life, and that works for me. So we had a great class. They all enjoyed the cards. And this is my 2nd year doing a Christmas in July buffet, and it's been a big hit. So I will continue doing that. And then I do another one in November, and I'm lucky enough I can do it at my church, so I have lots of room. There we go. We've got that all set. And then I will also do a Christmas gift tag class there in December. So now I'm ready to layer, okay? And what I tend to do is I get it set up on the top, the one I want, and on the bottom, get it spaced the way I want, and then I'll go in with the middle one. Again, my type A personality coming out. I like to have them as nicely spaced as possible. I used to always do, with my cards, guys, I always had to have bling and ribbon on every card, and I have tended to get away from always putting ribbon on, and I think it's partly because my classes, I gotta tell you, a lot of my crafters don't like the ribbon. They don't like tying bows is what it is. Let's be honest, they don't like tying bows. So guess who's usually tying their bows? And I don't mind. I always say my mom taught me how to tie a bow many years ago, so I like to pass that on. All right, so now we'll put this in the middle, and I liked how it went the light, dark, light. And then the green Christmas tree just pops right on top of there. But that's too green. We have to have something shiny, don't we? So the die, they have the die in there, little tiny star die like this, and I did 2 of them for each card out of the glimmer, and I'm just going to put them together with the glue dots. And then it'll stand off the card just a little bit. Gives it a little dimension on the top, plus the bling that I want. So I am going to take it, and it's 2 long ones and 2 short ones. So then I'm going to take the other one and go just the opposite, right? If I can get that on there. That's pretty easy to work with. Get the long ones in between the short ones. There we go. And then I'll put 1 more glue dot on the back, and I'll put it on top of the tree. And I don't have to push it up with a mini dimensional at all, because this will already be lifted up enough. And then 2 more layers on here, and you've got it. We'll just put that on there. It looks really nice. And if you wanted to, you could actually put some gold of the festive pearls along there. I didn't on this particular one because I'm going to put it on the sentiment, but so just put a little adhesive on here, and then I measured mine. I just placed it so the top of the tree is right under, in the center and right under the gold. Then I know that gives me room for my sentiment, So we've got our season's greetings, and I'm going to put that up on dimensionals to pop that up on top of the tree. I kind of got some more good news this weekend. One of my crafters goes to a place, and she's been talking to this lady at this market about my cards, and the lady wants to meet me and possibly sell my cards at her place. So that was kind of cool. And now look at this. This ends up going right in the center here, just like that. And we've got our festive pearls. And we'll take my take a pick tool, and we will put one on each end to add our gold. And voila, we're done. Our cute little Christmas card. I love it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I think it is such a beautiful, beautiful set. I'm so glad I got it. It's one that's so traditional, and I just absolutely love it, and I know I'll be baking a lot of cards this year. My own personal cards will be coming from this set. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me tonight. I hope you all have a great week. I have tomorrow off, so I'm going to be crafting my little heart out. I'll be in my happy place. So take care, everybody, and thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate your support. Bye-bye.